So, Mrs. Chen, you were selected as Eastlake's Teacher of the Year. Can you share with us your path to becoming a teacher?
I I have a undergraduate in electrical engineering at UCSB. Finished 4 years of that, decided teaching is what I want to do. I didn't want to go into that field. So I went back and got my master in education, focusing on math because I feel like there's a lot of gaps. Students are not getting math and they're frustrated with math. I want to go back and be able to help students bring out confidence.
So, high school, can you tell us about teaching math in high school? I'm sure that it's changed a lot since you were in high school and in college. There's probably been a lot of curriculum changes, especially with the pandemic. And if you could also share with us how we are preparing our students for the future with using math.
So I did attend math in the United States. I learned math the way all my students are learning, but I did it traditionally. So it's a more drill and kill, get it, understand it, okay. We moved on to Common Core, where we introduced word problem, trying to make sure that they understand how to explain, justify their answer. Then the pandemic hit, so then we have to okay, now we cannot do Common Core. There's so much gap so far in students. Distant learning was very difficult for me to, I don't know my students. I couldn't tell where to gauge where they're at. So when we're back in person, I decided maybe we need to go back and kind of step back a little, let the students learn foundational skill through procedure. So we spent a lot of time working on procedural method, like making sure that complexity is there, but still foundational is to build that complexity so that they can handle those.
Wow, and I know that the drill and kill approach of the traditional math that our district shifted from that traditional approach to the integrated math approach, which aligns with the Common Core. So there have been a lot of changes in how it's being taught in the classroom. So how can we, and as you as a teacher, encourage girls to, I guess, love math? Because we do see that, there's a lot of male dominance in the math field. So how can you encourage the female students to love math?
I think my message to them is take chances. You never know where it can take you. I went in as an electrical engineering, and then when I finished, I never even went into the field. But then that itself opened so many doors for me. So I was able to teach AP Computer Science principle, which required math in there, for the past 5 years. I was also, during that pandemic, I had to learn to code a lot, to create decimal activity for my students so that I can ensure learning happens even when we're not in person. I even got to teach Python programming coding. So I think life is, there's just chances, take chances. Math is everywhere, you can't avoid it, so might as well embrace it.
So I know that you've talked about coding. And for those listeners that are listening into this, what is coding? I think I know what the coding is, but how is coding important in our world? How is it used?
It makes us a better problem solver. I think logically we're able to think how things work, and so we're better at problem solving. Coding is, I think currently with this everywhere, is technology. So knowing some kind of coding will open more doors for you.
Okay, and I also know that you're the advisor of the cybersecurity club. Can you tell us about what that club does?
Sure. We call it a coding club, not so much as a cybersecurity. It's just a place for my students to enjoy and have fun. And these are motivated students, do not need me to tell them what to do. They just want to be there to code. So we join competition, we sign up for competition. Currently meeting every Wednesday to kind of say, okay, what would you like to do? And then we meet every Friday after school to do practice, and we code. We signed up for SoCal Cyber Cup competition, which we do every single year, and we came in third for the past 2 years. So hopefully we can do better this year.
It's okay. The students are placing, so that's important, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. So what else could you share with our audience, that our listeners, about encouraging girls to go into a math kind of STEM field?
I think my students, I just want them to take chances. I want them to come in. My AP computer courses require math. They have to think math, but it's not advanced math. So come in, take chances, see what you can do, see your potential. It's very hard they don't find relevance in math, but once they see coding, they're like, oh, I get why we need math. I need to understand math to be able to code math. So I think having that opening for all, and now especially this year, I have more female joining my AP computer course, AP computer science course. So I think it gives them a chance to see how math is being used, because we're always saying math, how do I apply this?
Absolutely. And any parting words that you can give us?
Embrace your mistakes, because it shapes who you are, and don't stop learning. You never know when. Learning always makes you more stronger, more better at problem solving.
So good words of advice, everyone. So remember that, that staying in there, that intellectual perseverance and learning math, and that sometimes our losses that we may have turn into lessons, and that we can be successful. So thank you, Mrs. Chen, for being here. Congratulations on being Teacher of the Year. I know that as a former principal, I always just, love the honor that it was given to teachers. So congratulations.